Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker.
Yo, what's poppino, top of the morning, Zeke Black is in the building, Bodega mornings. Today I'm gonna start doing when I first moved to East Harlem. So that's the storyline for today. When I first moved to the El Barrio. The picture I put up is when I was like 5 years old. But growing up in East Harlem. That picture I put up is when I was like 5. My first 5 years of my life, when I was growing up, I was growing up in Queens, East Elmhurst. But my mother is originally from Spanish Harlem, Taft Projects. Like one of the first or second families that lived in Taft when he built it. Cause that's where my grandmother lived at. Now. McCaskill was popping. Now, when I first moved to Spanish Harlem, it was 1979. My mother and my father separated, and we moved to East 117th Street between 1st and 2nd. It was a cultural shock for me. Because mind you, Queens, the block I lived on, was suburban, quiet, lights out, nobody's outside past 8 o'clock on the corners making noise. When I moved to Spanish Harlem, it was crazy. Tenement building, 1 million people outside, and there was a lot of things going on. Like, I wasn't used to seeing a bunch of guys standing in front of the corner store. It was a different time. Now, moving to East 117th Street. Now, growing up where I grew up at, on the east side, I mean in Queens, there wasn't that many Latinos. So then I moved to Spanish Harlem, which is East Harlem. There was a lot of Latinos. But where I lived at, there was a lot of Italians also. So it was a mixy combination. The drugs at that time that was big was heroin. Heroin was all over the place. Definitely Spanish Harlem all over the place. Weed was big. They had trade bags, the big envelope weeds. You put $5 or $3, you get a whole envelope full of weed. Buddha Bless says they have sour diesel or black or other that good weed. You know what I'm saying? Back then, how people do those pills and all that other stuff, that was cocaine. Cocaine back then was a party drug. I was definitely growing up in this. It was still the disco era, but things were transitioning. Definitely, it was still disco. Donna Summers was still big. Discotheques were still big. The movies that was coming out, because where I lived at, there was a movie theater called the Cosmos. It was on 116th Street. That's where mostly everybody used to go where I lived at. Shopping was 116th Street. They still got stores there, but they had flooded with stores from on 116 between Park in Lex. It was crazy. 1 million stores. Like I told you back then, the drugs was different. It was heroin. Heroin was like that was the money maker before the crack ever. It still is the money maker, but that's before crack just took over for a little while. Heroin was the no one thing on it around. Now, I remember going to a school across the street, PS 155, and back then, like I told you, I lived in Queens. We didn't know about gangs, but living on 117th Street, that's where we started hearing about the gang stuff. And the first gang I ever heard about was the Down Boys from Wagner. One of the worst junior high schools everybody talked about not going to was the junior high school in Wagner. I believe it's junior high school 45. 45 was the 4 building. You know what I'm saying? 45, junior high school 45 was the 4 building. You might as well say it was the 4 building. It was Spofford. It was a junior high school you did not want to go to. Wagner Projects back then, it still is, but it was the danger zone. If you wasn't from Wagner, you was not walking through Wagner Projects.
Wolf cry, wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry, wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry, wolf, you still see that wolf.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Jeff, Jefferson Projects. Now the interesting thing was I had 2 other brothers, and you know some of my first friends was, of course, Spanish because that was my block. But the unique thing is that there was a thing called the Thomas Jefferson Boys Club, which was on 111th Street, and it's crazy because everybody in like Spanish Harlem from 99th Street to Wagner went to the Boys Club. So what kept us all united was the Boys Club of America on 96th Street. On 111th Street. Now this is before I ever passed 110th. So all I knew was that portion of East Harlem. Going to 105th Street was foreign to me back then. Now I remember that graffiti was big. Graffiti was definitely high on the rise. It was definitely real. It was a big thing at that point in time. Graffiti. I remember watching on Channel 7 News, and they had African Bambaataa, and he was talking about the like when he formed Zulu Nation and the whole purpose of Zulu Nation. They were saying through the arts of breakdancing, b-boying, and this is like really before the rapper though, but you know what I'm saying? They was just showcasing, because back then the news was going heavy on that graffiti. That Vandal Squad was crazy. Every time you turned around, somebody was there. They had some type of story on the trains with the graffiti all on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking this back at least to 79, 80. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Probably was there before then, but from what I seen physically. Now, graffiti was still big. That's what dudes was doing. Dudes was doing graffiti. I remember going to block parties and dudes used to steal electricity in the poles. And be out there jamming, man. We like original hip hop parties was like really a disco party. Bunch of break beats, disco. They play all music, even though the reggae at that time. Freestyle music was kicking in, definitely where I was at. Like they had a song called The Webo, that was big. But at that point in time, that type of music was what was in back then. Now, living in East Harlem, like I told you, it was different. It was a culture shock. It was different. Graffiti was also big, and one of the big graffiti artists that came out the neighborhood was there's a couple like Joey TDS, but it was K Slay, Dez. He was doing this thing at that Hall of Fame. He was doing this thing on them trains. Dez. because East Harlem was heavy on the graph. We had the high post crew, Hall, Bay 3. You know what I'm saying? CO, minor. We had the the Upper East Side. We had the 357 crew, RD, JJ. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? It was a different time, man. It was a different vibration. Like I told you back then, the house parties, the block parties was that when hip hop was going, it was the DJs and it was the block parties that brought the people out, because they wasn't letting people get in these discotheques with sneakers and in certain ways that we dress. They was not allowing that in the discotheques. So basically, thanks to disco, these discotheques not allowing us in, we created our own culture. You know what I'm saying? Now in the mix of the DJ, the MC, when the MC started rhyming and flowing, it just got crazy. Like I told you, house music was big, freestyle music was real big, Menudo was big. This is all what I grew up around. Like I told you, Spanish Harlem, we all went to one boys club from 99th Street to 125. Most of us all went to that same boys club on 111th Street. Back then, there was a guy named Hector, rest in peace, Hector Camacho. He was the people's champ. He's one of the boxers that came out. They had a boxing program at the boys club. So that's why a lot of dudes in the hood used to box, because they had a boxing program at the boys club. And Hector Camacho came out, one of the boxers that came out, that boys club boxing. He became professional and he won a belt. So he became our champ, because we didn't see that for. You know what I'm saying? Most people definitely didn't see that for. But one thing Spanish Harlem was real big for was sports. You know what I'm saying? For some weird reason, a lot of neighborhoods had one thing in common, that we all played sports together. So when it came to different blocks, Quinn was popping. Nah, Menudo was big back then, man. It was big, man. Menudo was, Quinn, Menudo was crazy back then, man. Little Ricky Martin, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Menudo was big, man. I didn't have a Menudo pen, that was like off limits, but Menudo was big, man. And like I said, since we all went to the same boys club together, Wagner, we had back then you had when I was going to the boys club, you had the itty bitty house committee, baby house committee, like that generation, Zulu Nation. The Zulus was the more advanced gang back then. You had Zulu in my hood, but the Zulu Nation members in my hood was beating people up and robbing them. You know what I'm saying? But they became, the notable OGs like K-Slay, Papo, Coco, 100th Street between 1st and 2nd. That was like Zulu land. And then you had Zulu Nation that was running around in Carver. But definitely Zulu was on 1st Avenue crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the breakdancing, because now breakdancing was big. This is when dudes would come to your block and battle you. And like I said, you had the itty bitty house committee. You had the baby house that I remember. You had cause my man was the leader of the baby house committee, I believe, Goldfinger from Wagner. I think it was baby house. It was either baby, and the Down Boys was out. But remember, the Down Boys was already a gang. You know what I'm saying? In the mix of disco era. You know what I'm saying? The end of the disco era going into the 80s. You know what I'm saying? The Down Boys was it. You know what I'm saying? The Down Boys territory definitely went from Wagner, to be precise, to break it down. So they went from Wagner Projects to AK to Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? That's how much land they massed, the Down Boys. Junior High School 45 was the 4 building back then. If you from East Harlem, back then, late 70s, mid 80s, 45 was the danger zone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, 45 was the danger zone. Now, going now. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was another crew out, but they was getting busy. And they became a famous crew later with generations of this. Is the East Army. East Army. When I remember them, they was writing graffiti. Was D Freeze and Zico, the only ones I knew, but they was heavy on that graffiti. If you know about First Avenue and Metro North, East River, Wilson, definitely East River and Wilson, you would know about the East Army, the EA. You know what I'm saying? Back then they was heavy on the graffiti. D Freeze is the guy that owned Sub-Zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was always part of the culture with him and Zico. Even made a record back in the days, because back then D Freeze used to DJ. And Zico's father worked for a record label, because Zico was from 1199. Because me and Zico had the same name, Ezekiel. And he had a song called My Phone that Red Alert played a couple of times on the radio, and that was big for us. Oh, they had a rap group called the Legion of Doom. It was Deep Freeze, my man Sonny is a Rock, DJ Mose, this guy named Dews. You know what I'm saying? Big Head Nelson. You know what I'm saying? And they was doing their own rap thing, but when Zico made that song My Phone, that was big. Like, yo, we like that made dudes do it. Like, this guy from Brooklyn that moved in my building. His name was Mike Ski. He made a song called Brooklyn's in the House. He lived in my building. Him and my man Sonny was gonna do a show together. Him, Sonny, and I guess because Mike Ski being from Brooklyn, he knew about Giz. That's when Top Billing was like number one, and they were trying to do a concert in this place by Wagner, like 122nd Street, but something went wrong with the police and the club owners. It was a large crowd out there, and the show never happened. But that was like big. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Ski wherever he at, man. He used to be because I think his girlfriend lived in my building. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I want you jacking, yes sir. Yep, the East Army on First Ave. Yep, that crew been in existence since probably 1979. You know what I'm saying? Because when we went to the Boys Club, I told you the whole East Harlem went. So now you had the Baby House Committee, Gerald Tisdale and them. No, Gerald Tisdale. Let me correct. Gerald Tisdale and them had the Baby House Committee from Carver. They used to come through. You had the EAs, the East Army. They was coming from East River. You had, the Jeff Mob. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Big Joe. They was coming through, and Rock City-O and Mel and all of them. They was coming through. Then you had, Down Boys, but the Down Boys was a little older, so the Down Boys was like intermediates and seniors in the Boys Club. We had dudes around my way, the DEK crew back then. They was deep. Graffiti and beating dudes up and getting to that cash. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think in East Harlem, things was happening, but since we all had one thing in common, the Boys Club, a lot of us played sports. So that's why we was able to put together leagues, like football leagues and softball leagues. Y'all probably see it too, when they go to 121st Street, right by Second Avenue. You notice that those football leagues, you see mad older cats out there, and everybody gets along with each other because all our life, that's what we did. We all played sports together. That's one thing that kept East Harlem together. Some dudes died, though. Don't get it twisted, but it wasn't as bad as other neighborhoods where the people were scared to come outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we embraced the culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Brooklyn in the house. Yes, sir. Mike Ski. You be knowing Quinn? His girl lived in my building. You know what I'm saying? His family upstairs. They lived in my building. You know what I'm saying? And he had to link the milk and give him because he's from Brooklyn. He had that song, Brooklyn's in the House. He lived in my building. He actually lived in the building for a while. You know what I'm saying? And him and my man Sonny is a Rock. They was gonna They was putting together like a concert, a small concert, and at that time this is where Milk D and Gibbs was getting crazy rotation for top billing, so it was a good look. And there's something went wrong with the promoters, and it never happened. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a gym. I forgot the name of the gym. If there's somebody that's in here from Wagner, you'll probably remember. It's like 122nd Street, and on 122nd Street there was like a gym, but sometimes in that gym they would do parties. That's when we had like DJ Double R, G-Bo the Pro. They was big in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm taking it back to the block parties. Now the block parties, we all still got along. Then the carnivals would come like on 110th Street. We still got along. Now don't get it twisted. Jefferson Park Junior High School was just as crazy. 117 was just as off the hook on the east side. Jefferson Park Junior High School was crazy. Right by Franklin Plaza. We can't forget the TWB crew. You know what I'm saying? We can't forget the Lynch Mob. You know, Jerry and them. You know what I'm saying? Redhead Jerry. We all went to the boys club together. You know what I'm saying? We all played we call it junior games. We all played table soccer. We all played pool. We grew up together. And I think that's why you notice most older cats that didn't burn their bridges in East Harlem go anywhere they want to go in East Harlem, because we all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really all grew up together. We just didn't grow up on one project. Like, I could be in Wilson and be good, or I could be in Washington and be good. Even second half Washington, I could be good. Because, dude, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to burn your bridge where you from. You get money. We all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up together. I remember when they used to have, now, when I lived on 117th Street, they always had the auto spot there. Back then, the cars that was big was like Lincoln Continentals and Cadillacs. I know I sort of mixed the story up a little bit, but I'm trying to give you a description of how we get along in East Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Now, the names I'm saying are famous names, actually. You know what I'm saying? In East Harlem. And back then, we wasn't thinking about picking no guns up. Like, we was really fighting. Like, we was fighting. Blocks was fighting, but it wasn't that bad because we all went to the boys club. So it was just like we went to the boys club and we watched TV in the room, and we watching videos. And so most of us, you know, we wasn't at odds with each other. Now don't get it twisted. You had you know, definitely shout out to, rest in peace, Randy. Shout out to my man Cubby. He was from Wash, you know what I'm saying? It was always like, you know, project stuff going on between the youth, but it was always, we took it out on the sports. It was never gang fights outside the boys club. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't my projects linked up with your projects, or we're gonna shake out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a wonderful thing that they did when they had the boys club. It kept us at peace. It gave us, you know what I'm saying? It kept us off the street, man, for a long time. Now, I remember when they shot the movie Gloria in East Harlem, and they shot a couple of scenes. I remember when he was setting it up to shoot a couple of scenes, and I remember when he did that. I remember, actually, the first little coke spot was in my building. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. You know what I'm saying? I remember the block parties. I remember when Melly Mel and the, because you had the Mastodon Committee. You had, see, those like the rappers, like Mastodon Committee, Funky 4+1. Yeah, you had rappers. Then you had the but graffiti was still big, and breakdancing was still big. Those were the elements that was big. DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti. Because graffiti was that was the it, because graffiti is what brought people interest to the hip hop thing. Like, wait a minute, what's that? You know what I'm saying? People are thinking this is what MTA is doing. And then you had movies like Warriors that showcase graffiti on the train, so people across the world just looking, going, yo, what's that stuff on the train? So you had people that came from these European countries just to look at these trains, and going into hip hop. There was definitely a lot of Yes, sir. And going into hip hop, it helped with the transition. Like, y'all may not understand how big it was for Michael Jackson to do the moonwalk at the Motown 25 anniversary. Because when the first time I see somebody spit on their head was in my mother's house on 117th Street. I was still living on 117th Street, and the Spanish kid came through and was like, "Yo, they got this new move." Cause back then they used to do the electric boogie and the pop locking and the leg work, but nobody was spinning and doing it on their neck. And it was a song called "I Want to Rock with No." Yeah, I want to rock with you. And he said, "Yo, watch this." And he did a spin. He looked at it like he was crazy. That spin became, part of the breakdancing thing. So then we started seeing more of that in the hood, where dudes walking around with cardboard boxes and a boom box, and dudes they be battling blocks. They be, yo, I'm going over here to battle them. I want to battle them. We about to go down the block and battle them. And that just took off. So the second part of hip hop that suburban America scene was the breakdancing, because a lot of guys that was doing the spins and the head spins and the rolling on their heads, they started going like the downtown, midtown, and they started breakdancing. So people was like, "Woof, what's this?" That's the culture. Nobody knows. See, nobody really tells you how the culture really, how other people began to see the culture. It was breakdancing and it was the graffiti. Because when you seen the movie, even if it's Death Wish 3, you ain't see the Zulu nations. What you seen was a bunch of graffiti on the wall. You know what I'm saying? So, I gotta give it to Spanish Harlem. We had a lot of writers. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of writers that played a major part in the graph world. TFA was a famous graffiti crew. I mean, I met Vulcan at the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of famous. I met Dog TRC. I know him. Dog TRC. I know the guy. You know what I'm saying? From 100th Street. It's my guy. He the first guy that was really putting us on to the galleries. Like, yo, I go to these galleries. People pay me for this artwork. We had another writer called Sace Spawn. GNR. Crazy. Sace is crazy on them burners. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he did Welcome to the Jungle in Washington. It was crazy. Shout out to the chat, party people. Shout out to the chat.
Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Jackie. This is a fact. You watch Michael Jackson do that moonwalk, and then corporate America took breakdancing for real. You know what I'm saying? Then Lionel Richie, he made a song called All Night Long. He started he had a couple of, because All Night Long was a cultural video if you watched it, but he had the kid doing the electric boogie and stuff. That worked. The greatest thing about Michael Jackson was he was implementing break dancing in his dance routines. That worked. Cause remember when Michael Jackson, the second album, went where he at now, Rich Forever. You know what I'm saying? The Thriller album. He was embracing the culture of hip hop. Then you had, as I'm growing up, until I'm seeing this, I'm watching. We had to hit the Camacho, we got the moonwalk, we got the break dances, we got the cruise. Mind you, none of us is out there hustling. This is when dudes was running to get summer youth jobs. You know what I'm saying? This is when dudes were still packing bags and Freckles right by Tav. That's when you have Freckles by Tav, C-Town across the street from Jeff. Dudes was packing bags. Notable names, real dudes that just say, he a real cat. Been hustling all his life. We had dudes that was packing bags just to buy Adidas, just to buy Sauconys, just to buy, you know what I'm saying? A good coat. You know what I'm saying? Before a lot of dudes hustle, dudes used to give out those pamphlets on doors, like you know what I'm saying, like brochures. That was a hustle. $100, you went through 4 project buildings. You know what I'm saying? That's how you made money. Some dudes sold incense and Jifskin Musk. This was like there was so many other hustles back then. You know what I'm saying? And You know, like my generation of friends, none of us really was hustling at I was hustling at the age of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't really going on. I told you, we were still doing the sports thing. We were still doing the boys club thing. We were still being normal. Then, an inspiring, something that was inspiring was, now I lived on one part of Spanish Harlem. It's all Spanish Harlem, but I lived by 117th, and I moved to 114th Street. Now look how crazy this is. When I moved to 114th Street between First Avenue, there was more of an Italian mafia influence. You know what I'm saying? You go around that corner on Pleasant by Rayos, you in Little Italy. The notable mob names was in that back at them social clubs, and a lot of the kids is who I played with in Jefferson Park. You know what I'm saying? And this is First Ave. This is First Ave. We were right across the street from Jeff. My friend Chris, he used to live in Jeff. You know what I'm saying? And we all still got along. It was certain things that was going on that was crazy, but we all still got along. That's when I got to see the bikers, you know what I'm saying? Certain dudes Biker James and, a couple like my man Marcus, the bikers, Minor. They always going towards out, and you'll see all the dudes, the Italians over there that was riding these bikes. They was definitely coming through. So it was definitely a different time, man. It was a different time. I think it definitely was a different time, man. And the time that we was in, it was you know what I'm saying? The time that we was in, I would say, the time that I was in, I would say that we all have had some culture with us. You know what I'm saying? Word, I can honestly say that we definitely had a whole lot of culture with us. Where it got to the point where you had dudes that you know what I'm saying, you had certain elements that was, and I told you, it was already that dope game was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That dope game was crazy. Then that crack era hit, but before the crack era, things was just pretty normal. It was still project versus project. Good example, when you heard Tav and Johnson fight, some dudes was fighting, it's because junior high school, PS 57 was like a war zone. But nobody was going to their projects, shooting their projects up. That wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? Just some dudes just didn't go through Johnson. They just didn't mess with Johnson. Mind you, Johnson is right there. When you cross Park Avenue, they go Johnson. Right by the La Maqueta, that's Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Dudes would bump heads in the La Maqueta. That's when it was open. It's open now, but it was open back then too. We all just got along, man. The only thing with Taft that we used to go through was where my grandmother lived out on 15th Street. We would go to war with those cats on 12th Street. Not war, but we have to fight them sometime for they slide. They had the dope slide on 12th Street at Park Ave. Mind you, I told you we all went to the boys club. So if I cut through Johnson, I go through 12th Street, I see Redhead Jerry and all them. Boom, 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 what's up, boom. I cut through. I go to Jeff. I see my man's in there. You see my man Heck and all them. You see what's up, boom. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't a guy that was wasted talent, you got you got a lot of love. This is why I'm saying gang culture never really had the streets the way it has the streets now. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, Menudo, I'm giving you a good example. Menudo was big. Hip hop was on the come up. It's funny because when dudes said they wanted to be Zulu Nation, it was more cultural. It was crazy. Even though you had the Zulu Nations banging against the Ball Busters, but Zulu Nation was more about you know what I'm saying, they was talking about Africa and Nas itself, and So to be Zulu Nation, it just wasn't you just threw black beads on and walked around having your beads blessed. You know what I'm saying? You had to understand the black culture. You know what I'm saying? That was my understanding of it in East Harlem. I don't know how it was in the Bronx. I can't tell you what it was like on the Lower East Side. But what I seen, because a lot of those guys had the medallions and they would talk and they would always speak on, black power. You know what I'm saying? Black empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, the only thing you heard about Zulu was they would go to war with, that I knew about, the ball busters. I don't know any other enemy they had but the ball busters. I know 119th Street in the First Ave, you had like this motorcycle gang called the Renegades. So whatever they call it, I think the Renegades. That block always has been theirs. Even though I never seen a motorcycle on that block, as long as I was growing up, that block was known as, that's the motorcycle gang, Renegades. You know what I'm saying? On First Ave, you know what I'm saying? 119th. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It's hell yeah, that song was definitely huge. You know what I'm saying? That song, Brooklyn in the House, that was definitely, that Mike Ski joint was dope. And that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that Zulu Nation thing was big. Like I told you, what I knew about Zulu Nation was, they had like more culture. Like it was like some the black culture. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to see Rock City Crew members. I've been in the room with Crazy Legs one time at a Universal Records event. But other than that, I always used to see Rock City Crew come through. As a unit, they would come through, and this is when they started. This is when Rocksteady went from doing backspins and house parties, and they started doing like private events. They started going. They went on tour. Now they're in breakdancing books, and this hip hop culture was being promoted crazy back in them days. You know what I'm saying? And Rocksteady got the benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? This is like I seen Beat Street at the Cosmo. And I already knew what Rocksteady Crew was. Now the whole thing with Rocksteady Crew was like you had Zulu, Ball Busters, the Green Beads, Black Beads, Rocksteady Crew, and then you had other breakdancing teams. You know what I'm saying? Like around my way in East Harlem, there was a crew that was actually in the graffiti book, Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? Called HBR. They was in the book actually, and they was showing. In the book, it just showed them breakdancing at the Graffiti Hall of Fame, the culture of hip hop in Spanish Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could find that book now. It was a good book though. Dudes I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that I grew up under. You know what I'm saying? When I moved to 99th Street. Now, again, we all got along. You know what I'm saying? In my hood, we all got along. Like where I'm from, we all got along. So it was like I grew up with, like I played tag with the original FTW. You know what I'm saying? I played tag with the original Lynch Mob. I played tag with the original Carver Mob. You know what I'm saying? But we had one thing in common: the Boys Club. You know what I'm saying? Now, was there any race issues? Well, listen. You had the Renegades. Their block was quiet because, they controlled their block. You had Pleasant Avenue and 114th Street, on them back blocks was quiet because, the Italians. Because violence is bad for business. So you can't be having race wars when you're trying to run $1 million operation. When you're doing something illegal, you don't want to attract police. So you have to keep peace in the community. Now, was there people getting dusted off for being dumb? Most likely, yeah. Was some guys getting thrown in the East River? Pretty sure. But everything was about keeping the peace. Because you keep the peace, that means it keeps the police away. Because the 23rd Precinct, if y'all don't know, was the precinct that they was talking about. If you ever seen the movie The French Connection, that's the precinct where the drugs disappeared. Those are the cops that was involved with the drugs allegedly disappearing. You know what I'm saying? Those were the same drugs that when he showed American Gangster, he had the police, and in the beginning they was They was cutting the dope. Those were the same drugs that came out of the 23rd precinct. The 23rd precinct is a wicked police. No, it was a wicked police department. The Central Park 5, the same cop that was involved with the drugs missing, whatever the case may be, in that French Connection, the hammer that disappeared, was the same cop that was on that was involved with the Central Park 5 interviews. You know what I'm saying? So, you had some wicked police back then. The police was a little more different in the 23rd precinct. Now, we had another precinct that's on, 118th and Lex? Or 119th and Lex? That's another precinct up there. I believe that's the precinct that G-Dep turned itself into. But, free G-Dep. But, we come from, you know what I'm saying? We come from it's a strong culture, you know what I'm saying? We come from, it was a lot of culture. It wasn't too much. I told you, it wasn't too many race wars. It was bad for business. It was bad for business to be shooting the corners up, because back then the drug game was taken seriously. That's why that no telling. If you told, your family had to move. You know what I'm saying? If you robbed somebody and they knew you did it, your family had to move. It wasn't you telling your mother to come out and out that building. That was not going to happen, because people took the game that more serious. I just think that people don't take the game serious enough no more. So this is why somebody can tell and still move back in the same building they lived in, because the game isn't as militant. See, there was rules in the street back then. The rules, you knew what the rules was. You know what I'm saying? And the rules never changed. If I tell on you, I can never come back to the neighborhood again in my life. I can't come back to visit nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I tell on you, I'm putting my family at risk. That's why they would move whole families out. If they want somebody to testify against somebody back then, they move somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Because there was things that was liable to happen. That's why we wasn't shooting randomly, because it was always taught to us, Latinos, the rules of the street. If you shoot a kid, or you shooting at somebody, you kill somebody's baby, you're going to bring police here. They got to come to us first, because we control these blocks. We don't want police in our affairs. So, with that being said, don't go over there and create no havoc. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, when I was growing up, it was heroin. That was the big thing, heroin. I remember heroin spots by Chino Towers. It was crazy over there. I remember heroin spots by 116 in Lex. All that, Lexington Ave from 116 to 125 was heroin spots. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the DOA hit East Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Quinn never seen it. We never had that. That wasn't going on. That was never going on. It was because that is bad for business. The only time you heard something that dealt with race, was the ball busters. But see, it was different. See, the Dominicans, they had it a little bad, because we wasn't really bothering them. The Puerto Ricans was, you know what I'm saying? And I mean bothering them, the Puerto Ricans would pick on them. And so by the time we decided, you know what I'm saying? So one thing about the Dominicans was, you could be black or Puerto Rican. They mount up and they chase you, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That was just their logic, you know what I'm saying? They thought that the blacks were with the Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? But there was a thing between the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans that was crazy. But even with them, a couple of people might have got stabbed, a couple of people might have got shot, but it never it got to the point where no matter what, when they came against anybody else, they stuck together. You know what I'm saying? They stuck together, man. So the only time we did hear something about that dealt with race was, that. And that really was just based off of ball busters. Now think about it. The ball busters became the Connects, and Zulu Nation became hip hop. The ball busters, a lot of the ball buster trend culture. A lot of those guys became Connects and executives in the music industry, and sports industry, and a lot of Zulu Nation. From the culture, helped hip hop become what it is now, a billion dollar industry. So you understand what I'm saying? Well, it came from these cultures. See, I'm telling you, I'm dropping science on you. You know what I'm saying? Well, it came from these cultures. When you went uptown by G-Dub, George Washington High School. There was a million Dominicans up there. What came out of that area? You know what I'm saying? What came out of that culture was a lot of guys became Major League Baseball players. So what happens now? A lot of kids that was going to G-Dub was going hard on the baseball, becoming baseball players. They had at least 4 of them I went to school with. Manny Ramirez. I was in high school when he was in high school. I remember going to Century Park and watch Manny Ramirez play, and he had scouts out there already. That's why he never went to college, because they was already paying him. You know what I'm saying? He was already getting to the bag before he even, by the time he was a senior in high school, we ready to go. Junior Otis, another one, went to GW. Bobby Bonilla, GW, George Washington High School. So when they try to make the area sound crazy, they don't mention the good parts where, you had culture. You know what I'm saying? There was all type of George Washington Heights. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the real Washington Heights, not Sugar Hill. We talking about like 176, 170, 181. You know what I'm saying? Broadway and all that. That's the real Washington Heights. 135 in Amsterdam is still Sugar Hill. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Boss Don was popping, top of the top. And man, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. If they say that these guys come to this country and they don't know English, but they come to America, they go to the schools in America, right? These guys went to Major League Baseball. So how inspiring is that for another Dominican kid to give baseball a try? You know what that means? That the next kid, he may not become a baseball player, but he kept so busy trying to become a baseball player that he might become something else because he didn't hit the streets. Don't get it twisted. A lot of guys hit the street when the money was in the street, but a lot of guys didn't hit the streets because their mind was occupied someplace else. So like I said, it never really was now I'm only speaking from where I'm from and from what I've seen and what I grew up with. I don't know what went on St. Anne's Avenue. I can't tell you what was going on Burnside. I don't know how they was treating the people, but I know where I was from at. They always said it was bad for business. You know what I'm saying? Because people protected their blocks. You know what I'm saying? They knew there's black families here, there's some Italians here. We got to have peace over here. We can't be having our kids killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And this is why sometimes when we out there playing, these guys will buy, lunch meat, sodas, chips. They'll feed all the kids out there. That's inspiring. Oh shit, your pops has looked out. So what happens is it brings love. We all eating together. This is before anybody sold a drug. See, a lot of dudes go, I only ate with my mans before. When I say me and my team eat, I mean we really ate together. You know what I'm saying? Ate real food. That's why I never had a desire to kill none of my friends. I never woke up in the morning and said, yo, you know what, man, I'm going to kill this guy. Even when money messed up and I might have, you know what I'm saying, or even with my friends, I might have deaded my man on something heavy. Zeke, you know what, I ain't messing with you, but you still my man. The next week we be together laughing, joking, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? We always had the same. We can hang out together, but we can't do business. And that's just how it went. So when I be seeing what be going on, it's just like that's that culture. That's this new culture that people have adapted. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people used to tell me, yo, Puerto Ricans is racist, huh? You know what I'm saying? That must be where you're from. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Not where I'm from. Because if they were so racist, I had 8 people's house I had to go to and eat, literally. I remember going to my man's house, right? Because I told you, I wasn't a Menudo fan, but Menudo was real big with the Latino sisters. You know what I'm saying? So everybody who had a sister had a Menudo war. And I'm not throwing fun on you right now, but a lot of dudes that had sisters, they had Menudo. Their sisters had Menudo pins and Menudo posters on the wall. They know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But but even they played that crazy. I'm talking about. I was in high school in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? That was big in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like Bobby Bonilla, they all came out like in 87, 86. They just, baseball was big, you know what I'm saying? They came over here and they did something great with themselves. Even though you had dudes that was getting money on the block, you had dudes that was definitely on the block getting a lot of paper, but a lot of dudes was really going to school. Like A-Rod was from up there somewhere. I don't care how many times he changed his story. Oh, I moved to Florida and I did this. He's from up there also. I remember being on the train with A-Rod when he was a junior. when they used to be coming downtown, going to some type of baseball camps. You know what I'm saying? So to see that he came out of, when he got drafted out, he got like a big contract, just like Manny Ramirez. He came out with a big contract. That's inspiring for a bunch of guys that come from another country that could barely speak English. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because back then it was still the money culture. People protected their block and their land. You know what I'm saying? You had hustlers. Don't get it twisted. You had hustlers on these corners. You had hustlers. But hustlers protected the block. If you had no reason to stand here, what you standing here for, little nigga? And they would tell you, not saying nigga, can't use the N-word. But we have to, it was more culture and more love. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, let me tell my story. You know what I'm saying? Now with me, you know, I wasn't a rapper. I wasn't a belly dancer. I used to write graffiti. I wrote with a crew called PT1. I wasn't the nicest cats, but you had cats that was in the crew that was nice. Before that, I was Zeke Ski. That was the ski ever. When everybody put some type of ski behind their name, you know what I'm saying? And me and my friends, we want to create our own we got these little beads, these crystal clear beads. We got them blessed on 116th on the hill. And we thought we was all branch of Zulu Nation. You know what I'm saying? Now, to be honest with you, when it came to culture, Zulu Nation and the guards had our generation talking about Africa more. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they spoke about. When they was building, a lot of guard bodies was coming from jail, hitting the streets. They were doing what's the science and all that stuff. We would listen to that. But Zulu Nation was big on that culture stuff. Not just breakdancing and doing spins on your head. They was also with that, that they played a large part to, a lot of people getting a lot of knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? But it was deep, man. We had the Camacho. I remember they had this. I went to karate school up there on 2nd Avenue. I remember when as we got older, most of us remained friends even after the boys club. Most of us, you know what I'm saying? We still see each other. We embrace each other. I don't need a gun to go holler at somebody. Yo, what's up? Boom, boom, boom. Even some of us forget. Yo, who you talking about again? Oh, yeah, remember, son. That's son, brother. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time, right? I was with my man. Now, he all from East Harlem, but he didn't even know I knew these people. So he brought me to his man's house to do whatever, take care of some business. Dude looked and was like, oh, Jay Black, what's up? My man was like, I didn't know you knew him. Like, I grew up with him. But remember, East Harlem, we got like 3 parts. You got from Lincoln to Wagner to 110th. Then you got the First Ave section. Then you got 2nd to Park Ave. So it depends on where you at. There's a lot of dudes don't really lead a block. Or lead don't lead a area. Because 10029, that's a big zip code. You know what I'm saying? And so if you don't see me in Taft, you may assume I don't have no dealings with Taft. I go with mad cats from Taft. Like I was in Taft when he had freckles. Old Lobs was in Taft when Big Dave, Big Dave was in the store by the Chinese spot in Taft. When Madison Avenue was crazy. When Kojak's store was right there on Madison. By between 15 and 16. But they call them the Young Devils or whatever they call it, the Devils. They had the stickball team by the clubhouse right across the street. I was in Taft. I think they call them the Young Devils or something Devils, but they right across the street. Then I moved, you know what I'm saying? So for me to go to my grandmother's house, I would have to walk through Jeff, First Ave, 2nd Ave, cut through PS 57, go through Johnson, just to get to my grandmother. That's 4 projects. You know what I'm saying? that was 4 projects I had to cut through to get through. It was always love. That's what I mean. It was love because we all went to the boys club together. You know what I'm saying? So when I cut through Johnson, I might see a couple of cats. Oh yeah, Zeke Black, what's up? Yo, Zeke, what's up? What's up? I'm cutting through Tab. That's home base. Because no matter what, we was always at grandma's house. I remember summer staying at grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When I was out there, when I was growing up, I grew up with the Frank Nitties and the Mad Jacks and Jackie. Jackie lived on my floor. Dobie lived on my floor. You know what I'm saying? Yo, peace to Blackguard. Peace to Blackguard. Boss Don, he said, yo, Zeke, it's definitely different in Spanish Harlem because African American Puerto Ricans grew up with each other there for a long time since the 60s. Yes, sir. Definitely salute the Blackguard. He's checking in from Syracuse. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. We all grew up together, bros, eh? You know what I'm saying? So it was like if I had a problem on your block, which I shouldn't have a problem on your block, because there's only one reason why I'm going to your block. I'm going to your block. I'm either going to hang out or see some chicks. I'm not going there to create no trouble because it was bad for business. See, we knew about business as kids because that's what they drilled in our head. You know what I'm saying? Listen, whatever y'all do off the block, don't bring it back to the block. So then it was basically like, if y'all do that, that means you can't be out here. Oh, okay. So you knew how to conduct yourself someplace else where you went. You never bought drunk because when there was no jobs, the drug game is what all people had. That's why I said the rules was different. You don't talk to your friend's wife. That's a violation. Your wife is upstairs by 8 o'clock. She's cooking. There's different rules. You don't snitch on somebody. Yo, put it like this. If you snitch on somebody in 1980, the police moved your family out the projects. You know, and this is why there's a lot of cold cases, like, man, I'm not telling, man. Because there was consequences to that. There was consequence. The rules were street rules. It wasn't jail rules. See, what happened now is we're implying jail rules. So, you know, in the jail rules, people find excuses to go, well, you know, he told, but he ain't tell on me. That's the jail rules. Street rules was, you tell on me, your whole family got to move. You know what I'm saying? Because we see it now. We see it now with these jail cats. We see it with jail. We see it. When a dude come up from jail, he can still go on the block and still open up shop. That means that the street rule has been broken. So that's the rules that nobody's following. It's not street rules. Y'all following jail rules. What I just explained to you, what I just explained right now, anybody that's an OG that's in this chat know what I'm talking about. Street rules, if you told them somebody in 1980, your whole family had to move. Yo, J-Mo status was poppy. Your whole family had to move. If you had sex with your homeboy's wife, your whole the block would you won't be allowed back to the block by the block. If me and you went somewhere and they jumped you and I ran, I couldn't come back to the block no more. Those are street rules. See, now in here in the jail rules is that's acceptable. Oh, word, you ran on him, you just a sucker, but come on. You know what I'm saying? When are we gonna get back to the street rules? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a street rule. Never talk about somebody when he's down, right? Now, if y'all watch the Queen's Flip interview and Titan was talking, salute the Titan, best free the bro. That's the real. That's what you call a real nigga, a real situation, right? He mentioned a situation that I knew about. Boss Dawn from around my way. The situation with Gang Salute. I don't know Gang Salute, but I know people that was around Gang Salute. You know what I'm saying? Now, when he said about the girl and how Gang Salute got shot, you know what I'm saying? I'm not supporting Gang Salute getting shot, but he got shot for my man. Over my man situation with my man. Now the thing was, Titan said, look at the belt. Over situation with the belt. See, he didn't say my man name because my man locked up. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to put something in the atmosphere like, yo, someone's about the situation when such and such got shot and the situation with the chick and boom, boom, boom. But you see, that's street rules. See, that's street rules. Jail rules is, yeah, it was such and such. That's who, because I gotta put it on blast. I gotta let it be known. That's this jail logic. This is where we all for knowing that. Please, somebody tell me. If somebody came to me on my block and said, yo, I heard such and such stole 8 bricks. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to go, I don't know what you're talking about. Nowadays, yeah, son, he caught 8 bricks, you know what I'm saying? And he gonna feed the hood and we gonna take it to the top. We gotta understand, I didn't grow up around that. I grew up in the culture. It was gangs out there. I told you, we had a block called the Renegades. That block, I never seen a motorcycle day in my life. They keep telling me that it's a motorcycle gang over there. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? I never seen a motorcycle out there a day in my life as a motorcycle gang. I never even seen a motorcycle club on that block. Nothing goes down on 119th between 1st and 2nd. You know what I'm saying? You got $1 million apartments on that block right now. You got co-ops on that block. I won't say $1 million apartments, but they got co-ops on that block on 119th. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's when dudes held their blocks down. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you facts. The rules that's out here now are not street rules. They are jail rules. We got to get it right. When these guys talk about what is street, these are not street rules, bro. This is jail rules, my brother. What had me scared to steal a pack was the violation of stealing a pack is something supposed to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to run around and steal a pack and feel that because I just stole a pack from you that I'm the victim in this situation. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm supposed to come back with 3 other guys and I'm going to go to war with you because I did you on. That's not how the street rules go. If you steal from me, you got the right to violate me. That's why a lot of dudes that were stealing packs, if you stole enough, they went up on your brother and broke his jaw. That's why a lot of dudes was be in jail and be like, yo, dudes violated because they burning my bridges because I didn't see dudes knock on dude's door. Yo, listen, your son owe me. I had to do it a couple of times. Yo, listen, man. I respect the game. I got respect for you, but your son stole 2 packs from me or 3, 4 packs from me, whatever the case may be. And the mother go get her son, smack him in the head 4 or 5 times, and tell him, go, you got the money for them? Okay, here, boom. That kept balance off the block. I've done that a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? We sit at the table, yo, bro, I don't want to stab this dude. You know what I'm saying? Yo, son, let's go to his house, my nigga. My G, just let's go to his house. We did that. Because that's street rules. You don't steal. Street rules. See, when we get, because, you know what I'm saying? Because we're getting the rules twisted. I'm from Spanish Harlem, like I said. I'm going to do a 3-part on this one. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do a 3-part series on this one. Street rules. We're in the street. We're on the block. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These are things that I've done. That Zeke Black did. You went up with a pack, you knocked on, yo, what's up, man? Where your brother at? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, if you spend a good story, you ain't got to work it up. Just pay me back, $50 a week, $10. You know what I'm saying? But we can't do business together no more. You know what I'm saying? Why are you trying to duck me for? Because you're gonna keep ducking me, I'm gonna get mad, and then they're gonna catch you and they're gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Those, you know what I'm saying? So so now I'm talking about street rules. I'm not talking about jail rules. I'm in the street rules. You know what I'm saying? You don't make your block hot. You don't. Never seen a motorcycle on that block a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? But it's been known as the Renegades. That's they block. We don't do nothing on that block. Mind you, that block is by Wagner. Wagner was crazy. You couldn't walk through. If you wasn't from Wagner Projects and you didn't know nobody, Wagner Projects was Brown. It was like what Brownsville is now. Is what Wagner Projects was. You think Forster was crazy, but Forster was crazy, but really on 12th Street. 12th Street was litty. But all of Forster's crazy, but definitely 12th Street. But see, you know what I'm saying? But your man, But not block. Even where when I moved downtown, like I told you, street rules. Now these guys will walk past us every day. These old motorcycle gang guys. They really have motorcycles though. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we never judge a book by its cover. And no matter what they was into or whatever they was into, we didn't know no better. So one day my man decides that he wants to open up a spot on a block. Now this block is a good block. And when you speak to people that's older, they'll tell you about this situation. On that block used to be one fish, two fish on the corner of 97th Street in Madison. My friend decided he wanted to open up a spot there. Now this is real talk. These guys, kids used to play in our park in the projects. It's, Park Avenue, 9-8 in the back. You know what I'm saying? So though the OGs came to us first, but it wasn't us. It was my man. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it ain't us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to work over there. And this is when I realized there's rules to this. You know what I'm saying? Again, street rules. The guy came back again and said, listen, you're not going to open up a drug spot on my block where my kids live. I don't care what you're doing these projects, but you're not bringing no drugs to my block. He's crazy. What are you talking about? It's not us. But in the words, he started talking about what's going to happen and who's going to happen to. So now this is how deep this is. The guys he was talking about was around the corner on the Ave. So now we're sitting there, remember, we're the ones that's directly in the back. So he coming to us like we're involved, like the projects together, because that's how the rules went back then. Everybody stuck together. So, all right, we know you're down with them one way or another. In a sense, we was. We just wasn't doing business with them. You know what I'm saying? Because check it, we was in the back, call ourselves cutting their throat. They was on the Ave cutting our throat. You know what I'm saying? But they already had the Ave already. We just called ourselves, we going to sit back here and cut their throat. Walk right into a war. You know why? Because as these dudes is talking, he's talking about what he gonna do to my mans, and I'm like, well, so tell your man, boom, 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 boom. Now tell your man nothing. What you talking about? Get out of here, man. You start talking crazy to them. What? Get out of here. I bet. Yo, I knew something was up because this guy came and all the kids left. That was from that side. Boom. I seen a guy that weighed 300 pounds. He hit the corner. Another short guy. May rest in peace. He gripped up with the hard diddy bop. He walking hard. It's another one. They hit the park. It was no more to be said. All you heard was a big boom. All you heard was bullets go. Them guns go up. We ducking for cover. Oh God. This thing got real, mind you. We didn't even have a gun. Us, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a gun, you know what I'm saying? So they be like, oh Lord, we ducking and dodging, you know what I'm saying? So now they're mad because we came at them crazy because what was told to us is that we violated the street rules, you know what I'm saying? They came to talk to us and we just got disrespectful and we violated the rules. So now the OGs on our block get in the past, get them, you know what I'm saying? They said what? They did what? I get them. I mean, not OGs that's 10 years older than us. The OGs, they went to them because where the situation was going down at, it's the OGs, the triple OGs. We call them the triple OGs. Let me get it right, the triple OGs. So now we come outside again, they docking at us. So now we're like, wait a minute, this is crazy. So we got beef while my man's getting all the money in the world on the app. He told me to go to the back. So now they personalize this thing with us now. So now I'm sitting there going to my man. I go, yo, son, you know this that's going on is because of you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we got to do something. Because every time they see us standing somewhere, they taking shots at us. You know what I'm saying? So now my man gets to the whatever case may be. So this one night, we all gonna sit out here. They gonna see us out here. Somebody gonna see us. They gonna tell them and watch what's gonna happen. They gonna come. They did exactly that. They seen it, but this time when they ain't gonna front. This is what I mean about when you play with the triple OGs. How I learned that day. Don't ever go to a gunfight if you plan not to shoot it out. They shooting and we shooting. Not we, but allegedly there were some shots. But the thing about the shooting was we was running into them, like they was running into us. We behind, we under cars, we on the side of cars, we hitting my man. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy. Action pack. That was nobody died, nobody got hit. It was just an action packed movie because it was like it wasn't 2 shots and dudes just ran, dropped their guns and nothing. It was you shooting, we shooting. This is as crazy as it sounds. So they hit the corner, we out, police come, boom. So now I'm sitting here, me and my man, you sitting right, we having a conversation. I'm like, yo, we might have to kill one of them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I said, this ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? So my man was like, you know what, you right. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna stop. So now we see the triple OG. How like, listen, man, we know it's bad for business. He told us that y'all got disrespectful. Only thing the man asked you was don't put drugs on their block. They don't want drugs on their block because their kids is there. Y'all talking crazy. But it was like, it's not us. But what he said was, listen, but y'all all together, man. Y'all all on the same block. Y'all supposed to stand together. Doesn't matter if you do business with them or not. Y'all from the same block. Y'all play tag together. Y'all sounding crazy right now, like y'all trying to dead the beat, but let your man keep it going on. We're not doing that. The only way this is gonna get deaded is y'all all gotta be on the same page. Y'all all together. Y'all the same block for the block. You hear me? Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all doing a great job holding up. Don't worry about it. I respect what y'all doing. Y'all they came hitting. Y'all came hitting back. We get it. So now it's messing up business. It's mad police over here. So now we gotta find are y'all together or not? Because if you're not together or not, this is gonna keep going on. You know what I'm saying? So even though we was mad at my man, we went to him. What we want to do with the situation? We see Duke's wife. She come on the app. Yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Now we on go now. So we see it like, yo, listen, man, we want to talk to your husband. You know what I'm saying? And she like, all right, he'll talk. You know what I'm saying? We got to find an end to this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's bad for business. And we tell him we're coming together as a block. The block. This is the block thing. This is not us talking. We all together. And that's when I realized that this is where respect plays a major part at. Blue chips was popping, And so it was crazy, man. They had me ducking, I was rolling on the floor a couple of times. It was crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? I said, yo, we have to show them something. So I guess they jacked the fact that we was hitting back and not running. But they was trying to kill us, though. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They made him out of the corner, whatever the case may be. So now we go to the tables. We see old boy. As we talk to old boy, he gripped up. His man gripped up. He got somebody else coming from the side. He gripped up. I thought we was lying, but they respected the triple OG's call, don't do nothing to us. They were just gripped up just in case you was some young dumb cats that was going to make a move. We said, listen, you would have killed me, but he would have killed you. These were the type of dudes that we was going to war with. He said, if y'all would have killed me, but he would have killed y'all. Y'all never got away, so we all would have died together. They had us surrounded. I'm like, that's gangster. He said, yeah, y'all would have hit me. But y'all wasn't getting nowhere. They had y'all. He said, listen, we're going to do here. Listen, Bobby. He hugged me. He said, listen, man. He hugged my man. He loved my man. My man Black. He loved my man Blue. You know what I'm saying? He loved my man Black. Because you know what I'm saying? He like, yo, listen, man. I don't care what y'all do in these projects again. Do not put no drugs on that block. My kids is at. Or y'all all on the same page. Yes. Yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? Now we can be friends again. Hey, all right. Because back then, you know what I'm saying? The Puerto Rican hug you, give a kiss on your cheek, a kiss on your forehead. He said, see, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right. And after that, he respected us. You know what I'm saying? They walked off. Nigga said, nah, I'm going to do nothing to y'all. I told you about it. But if y'all going to be, or if you think y'all's going to set me up and shoot me, y'all's going to die too. I said, I don't care. I would have died. Yeah, I bet. But y'all would have died with me, so my death would have never been in vain. That's when I realized that's street rules. That's where we're not playing with you coming at. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Nobody never opened a spot on that block. If we know somebody on 97th Street between Park and Madison, they'll tell you this story. OG on that block. Now they went to war for that. And that never happened. That block never had a crack spot. Shout out to the chat. know what I'm saying? That was street shit I was going through. That was street shit. But see, nobody knows that about black because I'm not mentioning because it has nothing to do with jail. It has nothing to do with me cutting somebody. It has nothing to do with me taking a phone. It has nothing to do with me stealing a package. Nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you some street shit that was going on. This is what people know the kid for. You know what I'm saying? I was involved in these situations. This is just part one because I got a whole bunch for y'all. Shout out to East Harlem. Rest in peace at the commercial. I gotta go. I got some things I gotta do. I appreciate everybody that came by the chat. I got more stories with Cosmo coming through, building and destroying. We're gonna do this, man. This is Zeke Black, part one, going up in East Harlem. Hope I didn't lose none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hope I stayed on the same page. If I, you know what I'm saying? You know my IG, Zeke Black, you know what I'm saying? Feed the Wolves, hit my DM. If you want to remind me of anything, just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the building, man. Definitely shout out to East Harlem, man. Definitely appreciate y'all. Have a blessed morning. And I'll holler at y'all later, players. You know what I'm saying? I like this vibe, man.
Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker. Cause when a wolf cry wolf, you still see that wolf teeth, motherfucker.